7, we're going to toss 3 coins and list the possible outcomes. What is the total number of possible outcomes, and then what is the probability of getting 3 tails? So what I should do is, before we toss the coins, before we toss the 3 coins, see, just write down, what do you think off the top of your head? What's the probability of getting 3 tails? Press pause and just quickly try and figure that out. Press pause and just try and figure that out without writing down any outcomes or anything like that. Okay? So what did you come up with? The correct answer is 1/8. Did you get 1/8? Interesting, isn't it? Okay. And so what we should do is, first of all, get 3 different coins. So we can see that, okay, these are different coins, right? And this coin here can be a head or a tail. This can be a head or a tail. This can be a head or a tail. If this coin is a head, so if the first coin is a head, what are all the possible combinations with that, right? If the first coin is a head, the next coin could be a head, right? And then the next coin could also be a head, for example, right? So we could get head, 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 heads, heads, heads. Or the first coin could be a head, the next coin could be a head, and this one, we could change that one, that could be a tail, right? So we could get head, 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 or head, head, tail. So there's 2 possibilities if you flip those 3 coins, right? Now, there's got to be more where this one's a head, right? So we'll try another one where the first coin is a head. We found 2 possibilities where the first 2 are heads. Head, 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 tail. Now how about head, tail? Some head, tail possibilities. A head, then a tail, right? And then if this one could be a head, so you could get head, tails, heads, right? Or we could get the first one being a head, the next one being a tail, and the next one being a tail, right? So we could get head, tail, tail, right? So there's 4 possibilities. Can you press pause and list more possibilities? So can you figure out some more possibilities for this? Hope you pressed pause and try it now. So the first coin we've said is always going to be a head, and we've got these possibilities here. Well, what if the first coin was a tail, right? What possibilities would you have if the first coin was a tail? So write down all the possibilities where the first coin is a tail, right? Have you got them? So if the first coin is a tail, then we could have a tail and 2 heads. We could go T, H, H, right? Or we could have a tail and then a head and then a tail, right? Or we could have a tail and then a tail and then a head. Or we could have, what's the last possibility? Tail, tail, tail. Now, I don't mind how you think about this or how you come up with it, but I hope you should be able to understand that there are in fact 8 possibilities, 8 possible outcomes when we toss 3 coins. You just have to kind of remember that these are different coins. This is not the same thing as this, right? They're different. Okay, and so that gives you 8 possible outcomes, and these are all equally likely. Okay, so what is the total number of possible outcomes? The answer to that is 8. There are 8 total possible outcomes. What is the probability of getting 3 tails? 1, 2, 3. 3 tails. Here he is. There's the 3 tails. And this is just one possibility out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the probability of getting 3 tails is 1 out of 8. 1/8 of a chance, right? What is the probability of not getting 3 tails. And just so you know, in the homework and the quizzes, you'll just be asked to give it as a fraction. But remember that this is also a decimal, 0.125. That's also a percent. It's 12.5%. So there's 3 ways of saying it. We have a 1/8 chance of getting 3 tails. We have a 0.125 chance of getting 3 tails, and we have a 12.5% chance of getting 3 tails. So let's flip the coins and see. Okay, I got 2 heads and a tail. Let me try it again. Okay, I got 2 heads and a tail again. Nope, not working. Got 2 tails and a head. Okay, so it's not that easy to get. 1/8. What is the probability of not getting 3 tails? Write down the answer. Probability of not getting 3 tails. Have you got it? Well, not 3 tails means not this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possibilities actually. So 7 possible outcomes over 8. Just for fun, we're going to use this. The probability of an event not occurring equals 1 minus the probability of the event occurring. Probability of not getting 3 tails. So probability of not TTT equals 1 minus the probability of getting 3 tails. Okay, so that's 1 minus the probability of 3 tails, of course, is 1/8, so that's 8/8 minus 1/8, 7/8, right? Which is what we found when we just counted the outcomes, right? So what is the probability of getting 1 tail and 2 heads? Write down the answer. Press pause and write down the answer. Okay, I'll do it now. 1 tail and 2 heads. Here's 1 tail and 2 heads. Okay. THH. Here's 1 tail and 2 heads. HTH. And here's another one. HHT. So getting 2 heads, we could get 1 tail and 2 heads. We get tail and then a head and a head. Or we could get a head and a tail and a head. Or we could get a head, and then a tail. That's 1, 2, 3 possible outcomes out of a 3 outcomes out of a possible 8. So, sorry, it's of course 3 favorable outcomes out of 8 possible outcomes. 3 out of 8. Okay. What is the probability of getting anything but 1 tail and 2 heads? Anything but these 3 possible outcomes. Press pause and do that one. So, not this, not this, not this. So, not this, not this, and not this one. That leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible favorable outcomes out of 8 possible. Okay? So, the answer would be 5 out of 8. Or we could do anything but 1 tail and 2 heads is the same as 1 minus the probability of getting 1 tail and 2 heads. 1 minus 3/8, which of course is the same thing as 5/8. It's 8/8 minus 3/8, right? What is the probability of getting at least 1 head? Write down the answer. So at least 1 head. We're talking about this guy's good, he's good, he's good, he's good. These all have at least 1 head in them, right? This guy has at least 1 head, so does this guy, so does this guy. This guy has 3 tails, not him. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 favorable outcomes out of 8. Or in other words, the same as probability of getting not tail, tail, tail. At least 1 head is like the probability of not getting a tail, 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 which is 1 minus the probability of getting 3 tails, which is 1 minus, and probability of getting 3 tails was 1/8. So 1 minus 1/8, which is of course 7/8. So there's 2 ways of doing it.